evening. It's December 1st, and this is a live stream tarot reading event coming out of AltSpace VR. Of course, live streaming on Twitch TV at the same time. The screen is showing the tarot table, and on the tarot table is the Magician card from the tarot deck and a crystal sword. And that crystal sword is something to pay attention to along with the Magician card as we sort of clear the mind in preparation for tarot reading. A clear, quiet mind is the best thing when reading tarot, because it sort of opens you up to the possibilities that the tarot kind of wants you to sort of look at. Now, the crystal sword is an energy clearing device that I found just a few days ago. And I actually sort of find it really useful. I'm amazed. I bought it mainly for decorative reasons. But it actually has an effect. So if you kind of pause and clear your head and just sort of think about the crystal sword on the big screen there, you kind of fall into a meditative state. You breathe in, you hold it, you breathe out, and you kind of keep in your head this idea of clear, bright, white light energy surrounding and sort of clearing you out and getting all of the day's troubles to just fall away. And you breathe in, you hold it, and then you exhale. You look at the Magician card. You breathe in, you hold it, and then you exhale. And there's that Magician card on the screen right in the middle. And that's this card of great skill and ability and enjoyment of what you know how to do, following your skill set, your abilities, your creative mind, what you love to do. That magician is master of all he does and all around him or her. And so you want to kind of emulate that in life many times, that enthusiasm for work and that magic ability to make things happen, to use all the tools, including the crystal sword. So as you kind of relax your mind and get ready for a tarot session, you sort of think about that clear mind, and then we take that magician quality into what we're going to do here tonight, and we're going to hopefully carry that magician quality through the rest of the week. And that's the whole point of looking up at the screen and looking at the tarot table and sort of just letting it kind of wash over you and become your main concern for the next hour, rather than whatever has been happening during the day or what you have to do tomorrow, that kind of thing. So I thought I would just put that up on screen for a bit. It's always a nice way to have a nice, calm start, a meditative start to tarot. This should be a somewhat meditative world here in this tarot temple. It should have the quality of reflection. And then as we begin to talk and share ideas, it becomes more active. But still, we never lose that element of reflection and meditation on the ideas of the tarot. So in a few moments, I will come in to the alt space world and start getting ready for readings for any of you who are there. And let me now switch our screen over to our first set of 3 cards. And I'm getting ready to come into alt space. Hi, everyone. Can you hear me? Oh,
Yeah.
good. Okay,
Yes.
so everything seems to be working tonight, better, actually, than it was last night. I'm going to get myself positioned, and I'm going to start the hand raise thingamajig here.
Okay.
So if you would like a tarot reading, you just press the hand raise button. And okay, Suki.
Yay!
Suki. Let's see now. I'm gonna put you. Yes. Okay. So now you are set. And where are you, Suki? Hi.
Hello.
How are you?
Right here. I'm
It's
good.
your turn to ask a question, and then you'll pick a number from 1 to 10, and we'll do the reading.
I just want a general reading.
Okay, you
Nice.
got it. What's your number from 1 to 10?
9.
9. Hang on 1 second. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Sometimes there's a delay in the streaming of the screen, but that's fine. Like now. Okay, so general reading, Suki. I'm going to spawn myself real quickly a laser pointer so that I can make things more clear for you as we go. There's my laser pointer. Okay. First impression of the 3 cards that pop up are we have some real communication going on, real ability to communicate and to think things through. And we have a lot of emotion and discovery of feelings, new feelings perhaps, and wanting to take action on those. And then we have something going on physically that we'll get to. But, so the left card is something we can kind of rely on, that we have or you have. That's always something you can you know is there, is built in as part of you. And in the middle, you've got something to think about in the immediate sense. Keep in the forefront of your mind. And on the right, something we're going to go after, to shoot for. On the left, and I'm going to have to mute speaker microphones so we don't get feedback. On the left, we have the Six of Swords, and that is all about what's going on in the head, the mind, the thinking. I'm still getting feedback for some reason. I'm not sure why.
Hold on, it may be.
I think everyone should be. Oh, I know why. Hold on one second. You're okay. I put you on broadcast, which is fine. So the 6 is the number of harmonious attraction and pleasure and communication that works sort of to build community and to keep people sort of together, feeling good about being with each other, a harmonious sort of enterprise going on. That's 6. And what it's saying is you have this ability to really communicate and make people around you feel good. Not just yourself, but it radiates and it keeps everything sort of working together. People tend to click when you start communicating ideas, or when you get involved and deal with difficult circumstances, or any kind of a thing that requires thought, careful thought, planning, and communication. And you're good at working out disagreements between people. You just have this 6 quality that's able to work things through to everybody's benefit. And that card there on the left is saying, okay, we know this about you. Now let's take that assumption and move to the present moment in the middle card, where it wants you to be, the reading wants you to be kind of focused on this quality for the next little while. And that is the Knight of Cups. And the Knight is following his heart. That's what that cup he's holding up is there for. It's almost like he's telling his horse, hey, I'm holding this cup out. It's like the carrot we're following, and we're going after it. We're following our heart. We're taking action in the world based on our real, true feelings, what our heart tells us to do, because we listen to it. We pay attention to that. And the Knight doesn't worry. He doesn't sit around pondering, worrying about consequences of this or that. He just says, this is how I feel, and I'm going through with this. Or she, it doesn't matter, he or she. And sometimes that quality can be impulsive, but the card is saying, well, it's in the middle. This is something that you might want to kind of think about and keep, maybe be a little impulsive, maybe not worry too much about being impulsive now and then, if you're following your true heart, that it's going to work out. Now, that energy of the Knight following her or his heart is going to bring us, you, to the next stage, which is more in the physical area, and it has to do with materiality and anything you require, anything you need to have to take care of yourself or to take care of anyone else that's close to you. Money, home, anything that's tangible, essentially, physical health, all that sort of worldly, material area. And the king has this innate sort of calm, I've been through it all, I've seen things before, Nothing's in the physical area is going to throw me. My money, finances, it's not going to throw me off the path. It's not going to make me fall off my horse here while I'm following my heart, because I've got this ability to handle these things and to sort of take them in stride. I'm not jumping up out of my chair, going all crazy, trying to control things. I just have a sort of a natural sense of calm, easy control, and I can work with people. And I also have the ability to really kind of cut to the chase when required. So that could be work, anything that you need to have in order to subsist, keep going. So that, and what the card on the right, the reason it's there is it's saying, okay, this is coming. This ability to calmly take care of these matters is coming to you as a natural consequence of really understanding what is in your heart, and always knowing that you can solve any crisis and situation with people with very, very skillful, clear communication because of that card on the left. So look forward. So the idea is follow your heart. Don't be afraid of it. Don't be afraid of your feelings. In fact, let them drive you. Let them enjoy them. And look forward to feeling more comfortable with your work and what you need to accomplish in the world. That by following your heart, it will have an effect on that part of your life. That's in general what the reading is saying. I just unmuted everybody.
You were a robot for like the last card, so I didn't even understand what you were saying. You were like glitching in and out.
Oh, okay.
Like one word at a
Oh my
time.
gosh. Okay.
I was trying to get your attention. You're still doing it, so I'm like.
Can you hear me? Can you hear?
You may have to repeat the last card because I don't
Okay.
even. I couldn't even understand.
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me better now? Can you hear me now?
No.
Oh, you can't.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Can everybody else hear me? No? Hold on.
No.
You can't hear what I'm saying?
Glitching real bad. We can, but you're like a robot. You're like, it's like glitched.
Really? How weird. Because I can hear you perfectly. Hang on.
I feel bad because now you're gonna have to explain the second card all over.
Well, that's okay. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna give me a second. I'm gonna exit the world and pop right back in, okay? And we'll see if we'll.
Yeah. Reload.
Yeah, I'm gonna reload it. Hold on. Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes. Way
Oh,
better.
okay. So sometimes AltSpace does these weird glitchy things, and nobody has ever been able to figure it out. So hopefully it'll. So where did you stop hearing me? On the middle card?
Yeah, transitioning into the last card, I couldn't
Okay.
hear anything.
Well,
so
what I was
I'm gonna have to
saying,
probably do the last
I
card.
gotcha. Okay. So the idea is that middle card, following your heart, and you relying on your ability for clear communication to create harmony with people, leads you in the near future to the card on the right, which is the material work, physical realm, health, money, job, anything you need that you require. and that people around you require to make them happy and comfortable. Now, this king over here of the coins has a calm sense of how to handle these matters. Okay, he has a quiet assertiveness and general authority, and so he's able to master what it takes in order to perform his or her job and to keep everything functioning smoothly. He just has that ability. So what this card is saying is, as you follow your heart and basically what you really want and take action on that, you are leading into this kind of a new stage where you're able to sort of master things that maybe have been a little bit difficult in the past. Everybody has difficulty with work and money and all that stuff. But the cards want you to know that this kind of serene ability to handle everything in stride is on its way into focus. And that was what I was saying essentially before the sound was cutting out. So, okay.
Well, that makes sense.
Now, let me get to our next participant. Let's see, so if you want a reading, what you do is you hit the hand raise button, and then I will take your question and you can ask whatever you want. And then I'll, of course, change the cards. Okay, so we have a hand raise. Cat's eye. Oh, cat's eye, did you go away? Sorry. Cat's eyes. There you are. Okay.
I'm sorry, I just came in the middle of it.
Oh, that's okay.
I'm just asking. Okay, I'm an Aries.
Where are you?
So I'm just.
Oh, there you are.
I'm an Aries. I'm right here.
Okay, you can ask whatever you like, and then I will change the cards and give you a reading. And you don't have to ask anything specific, because some people don't like to ask specific questions with other people around. They just want a general reading. It's totally up to you.
Right. Okay. My sign is Aries, and I'm just wondering, like, where am I going in the next coming weeks? I have no clue. I'm so confused lately.
Oh, okay.
I have no idea.
Okay. Okay, so you pick a number from 1 to 10. Okay,
7.
hang on 1 second. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It'll come through in a moment. Okay. Kind of where you're going. Let me mute microphone so I don't get feedback. Where you're going, a totally natural question that I'm looking for my little pointer. It probably rolled off. You know, the AltSpace needs to fix their laser pointer nonsense. At any rate, the first impression we'll get, and when we're talking about what's coming sort of in the next little while for you, what we have here is intuition with lots of thought sort of around, and then again we have the King of Pentacles. Okay, coming up. So the left card is something you have and can rely on that you may have sort of forgotten you have. It's possible. The middle card is something to really deal with now, and the card on the right, where you're going, what you're going to sort of try and go after. Okay, and not too far ahead, because this is a relatively like the next few weeks sort of idea. Let me get another laser pointer for myself. There we go. Now, this is so you can see where I'm pointing. The card on the left, this is an element of you that perhaps you may have lost focus on. And this La Papesse, the high priestess, she's all about intuition. She's all about what people can't see, what's hard to grasp, the sort of secret knowledge, the kind of inspiration that comes from you don't really know where, dream world, the kind of like crazy ideas that people can somehow depend on you for, and they don't quite know how your mind operates. You know, it comes from a mysterious source that you don't really necessarily know how it functions, but you don't really want to question it too much. You just kind of know things. They just come to you, and you kind of are like, wow, can't really explain why I know it, but I'm able to express things. And she's holding that book there because she's able to take very subtle, mysterious pieces of information from deep in her subconscious. She's able to communicate them in language at some point. She's able to use these ideas in her life. And that's something the cards are saying to you, you have this, and you can fall back on this. Don't forget it. And that brings us to the moment. And you've got swords, which are conflict and thinking and mental activity and confusion and communicating with people. And it's this big 9 number, which is almost the end of a cycle, almost the end of something that's been developing over some time. But it's very hard to get past and get over the hump to the next thing that you need to do, because there's a lot of confusion going on. There's a lot of like being stuck in your head, wondering, should I do this or that or this person or that person? Oh my gosh, I can't figure out what I'm doing. I don't know. I can't make a choice. And that 9 is there because it's saying, don't let that freak you out too much. Don't let that stop you. It's coming. It's going to come because you have the ability to push through. The stream seems to be there. It's back again. And so the persevering quality, and because of the card on the left being so intuitive, your powers of intuition are required for you to use in order to get past this impasse, this mental bind in some area that may be bothering you or holding you back or keeping you in one place. And you need to rely on this intuitive sense in order to see through the confusion and the maybe repetitive thinking, something holding you back in some area. And relying on your intuition to break through this barrier eventually has a calming effect on you, and it leads you to a sense of comfort in the world physically, because it's the King of Coins again. For the second time tonight, he's shown up. This sense of ease and ability to handle your life, to handle the home, to make things comfortable and safe for you and everyone close to you. This king figure is king or queen. It's a male or female. And it's the same quality of this calm certainty that I can deal with whatever comes, because I have freed myself recently by following my intuitive individual mind that nobody else thinks the way I do. And it has allowed me to make certain breakthroughs in my thinking. And now I am sitting more comfortably and at ease, and I'm not freaking out and panicking about life and work and all of those things. So that's the general sort of gist of what the cards are saying for you over the next few weeks, as you said. So that could be important. So, so there you go. I have unmuted you, so I hope that kind of helps. Maybe just give you an idea.
You kind of did it, because I feel I am intuitive. I know I am. But I also have something that's on my mind. I don't know like which way to turn.
Yeah.
But yet I am at ease. I just don't know like that particular one, like in the coming weeks.
Yes.
Like why I feel like I'm in a it's not a rut or whatever. It's nothing negative. It's just like I feel like I can't get through something. Something is bothering me, and I really don't know how to break
Right.
through.
Well,
But yet I'm not stressed over it. I just feel, I know it's gonna change eventually.
that's good.
But what you hit, you did kind of hit it on the nail.
That's
Yeah.
good. So I
Thank
would
you.
say, because of what you've said, I would say then that that left card, the intuitive one, is really the one to sort of keep in mind and fall back on as you kind of clear your head over the next few weeks. Because I think when a person thinks about this particular card, it gives them a really good feeling about themselves and the way their minds work. Just thinking about that card, it just sort of has a really good effect on people. It lets them sort of be comfortable with the way their individuality works, and nobody has to really understand how they think. You know what I mean? They don't have to explain it.
Yes.
It just comes to
Yes.
them. So have confidence in that, and I think it'll really go a long way. You're
Thank you.
welcome.
I do. I just feel like I'm so confused, like at this point,
Yeah.
that I didn't know like where am I? I'm not upset, not stressed, but I have a lot of things going on, and I get so confused. But I see, like I always say, it's gonna change, and I'm not stressed
Yeah.
over it. I'm not relying
Yeah.
on it. I'm not sitting there pinding on what's bothering me. I'm just letting it go, and I just figured it'll come.
Oh, it
eventually.
will.
So thank you very
It
much
will.
for that.
It always does.
Thank you.
Okay, too dorky for you. Too dorky for you.
Hi.
Let me see. There you are. Hi, too dorky for you. How are you? It's your turn to ask whatever you would like to ask of this.
I'm just wondering if I should get married over the holidays or not.
Oh, wow. Over the holidays. Okay. Well, oh boy. Okay, first of all, I'm not a counselor. I'm not a counselor for marriages. So, but
It's mostly because of COVID, because my partner's in the US, I'm Canadian, and so if the border closes again, if we're not married, it makes it really hard to see each other.
oh boy. Okay, well, what the cards
Oh.
can do is sort of give you like a general sort of like a way to sort of go, oh, I haven't thought about this. Let me see. Maybe there's
totally. I do tarot a
okay.
lot. Yeah.
So you
I
pick a
gotcha.
number from 1 to 10. 3.
3.
Hang on one second. 1, 2, 3. Aha. Okay.
Hmm.
All right. So what we got,
Hmm.
the screen is sort of a little glitchy today for some reason, but it'll pop in. Don't worry. Okay, there we go. It's coming, at least. All right. I mean, you'll right away notice the first thing that jumps out at me is the card on the right, which is the 2. The 2 is always a coupling sign. So, and that's what's coming. Now on the left is kind of something that's already deeply built in that you have, and the card in the middle is something to think about very short term, like right now. Okay, so let's talk about the first card on the left, which is the page, the valet d'épée, the page of swords. Young, kind of a little confused, doesn't quite know which way to go. His feet are pointing in opposite directions. He's pulled his sword, or he's trying to put his sword away. He doesn't quite know how to use it. The sword is like his thoughts, his mind is, he's not quite, he doesn't quite know the ways of the world yet, which can indicate sort of in general your current status with trying to make a decision. These kinds of decisions can be somewhat confusing. That's the idea. So but he wants to arrive at the best decision, and he wants to learn. He's enthusiastic. And I say he because it looks like a he in this, but it's just as easily a she, you. And so there's a happy-go-lucky kind of, I don't care how difficult things are. I don't mind difficulty. I don't mind that I don't know all the answers. I'm going to pursue what I'm after anyway. I'll figure it out as I go. And that quality, the cards are saying, is something that you have had in the past, that you can sort of acknowledge. Maybe you've lost sight of it a little bit, but it's there. And so enjoy the process of figuring all this out. It's all part of the whole life. It's all part of your happiness, ultimately. You'll remember these decision-making times down the road, and you'll be like, oh man, that was kind of an intriguing time when I didn't quite know if I should get married or not. So that's what the page is all about, is that general philosophy of enjoying what comes and how you're developing. Now that kind of ability, understanding about yourself, takes you into the middle card, which is something to focus on in the near term. And you have the Queen of Swords. So on one side, you have this naive, confused, but enthusiastic young sword bearer moving into an older, more established, very wise, nurturing woman of the sword, the same mental energy. So in other words, this confusion drops away. You figure things out. You arrive at solutions that are positive. And because of the Queen character, you can rely on this as being very sort of nurturing and wholesome and growth oriented. And the queens in the tarot always sort of represent a little bit of family, a nurturing quality that like a mother has. It's that quality, that always making things grow and flourish around them. This woman makes things flourish around her. She's going to do that for whoever she's with. Whoever she marries is going to feel this way around her. Okay? That's simply what the Queen is. And because it's of the swords, it means that you're able to communicate. And it's suggesting that you use this communication skill with whomever you're going to marry to work out details and get through any problems. Use these skills, this back and forth, because the Queen of Swords is highly capable of solving all problems, all plans, all conflicting bits of this and that. That's what she can do. So you're moving from some sort of inability to make a decision because you don't quite know, but you're still enthusiastic. You're moving from that into this next thing, which is this, wait a minute. I know the wise thing to do here. I know I can make this, and it's nobody's going to freak out here. I've got this. Okay. Now, what might that decision be? Well, the card on the right seems to suggest two things coming together. That's what the twos always represent, the coupling of forces and energy in preparation for the future. And you see that the two coins are wrapped with a blue ribbon, and the two ends of that ribbon are just about to join together. And of course, the symbol that they form once they do is the 8, or in other words, the symbol for infinity. which means infinite possibility and growth and development. And we're talking also here, it's trying to say, hey, also, we're the coins. So remember, we're all about like success. We're about success and making a living and money and physicality. And this looks like the joining together of two people who lead to a very positive future growth. Now, this may not necessarily say go and get married in 2 weeks or 3 weeks or 4 weeks, but it is saying that there's a very positive development here and two people are coming together, definitely. So there you go. If that's helpful, you know, that's the general idea.
No, it's cool. It's funny because he's gonna be here on the 18th, so I feel like that card's fitting.
Oh, really? He's gonna. Well, I hope that you know, look, people do what they want to do. You know, if people want to get married, they get married. And you probably, because you have this queen here, you know, the idea of this reading is you probably know already. You probably know, and you can handle this. And because you're leaving the confused page, the young, naive page, you're leaving him behind. He's on the left. You've got that. You've had that. You know that about yourself. And you're moving now into the next things. So now,
Cool.
you're very
Thank you.
welcome. Darren. Let's see. Where is Darren? Let me look around. See if I can find Darren. Hi, how are you?
On your left-hand side.
I see you.
I just realized I was muted, trying to tell you.
You can ask whatever you
I was
like.
I'm on your left. I was just curious. What would my future be? Just for fun.
Okay, your future.
Or is that more of a broad
That's
statement?
very broad, but it doesn't matter. I mean, look, future is future. You can think of it in any time frame you want. We can see what the cards say.
I'll go
Yeah.
with that.
So pick a
Sure.
number from 1 to 10.
9.
You got it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6,
I was gonna say 5, but 9 sounds better.
8, 9. Okay. All right.
That's very interesting.
You see the card on the left with 3 people? That is the Lover's card. That is a major arcana card. And that is basically, we consider the card on the left in these readings to be sort of something you've done. It's part of your personality. It's always sort of there, but you can move sort of beyond that and not worry too much about it. You can kind of rely on it and not be you don't have to dwell on it. And then you move into the middle card more in the present moment. And then over on the right is where we're sort of going. Now, this Lover's card is, you know, it's about love. It's about the general feeling of always having that sort of sense around you of knowing or trying to discover more about what it is you really truly feel, what you love, whom you love, what you love to do. You're always seeking that answer. And it presents dilemmas at times. That's potentially why there are 3 people here. There's some conversation going on. There's some pointing they're doing. There's a little bit of discussion about, wait, what's going on here? What are we doing? are these three people that are all trying to figure out relationships? Is there a mom here and then a couple who it's not really necessary to figure it out completely. The idea is simply that there is some amount of discussion and concern and decision making going on here, trying to sort of solve the natural problems that come up as you try to figure out what your heart's telling you. That's what this card is about. It's about that it's not always the easiest thing to follow your heart or to know what it's saying. Like, you know, it can be like, you know, you get two job offers and you don't really know which one to take because you're not sure which kind of work really you love to do yet. You just haven't quite figured it out. That card is sort of saying, keep paying attention to that. Keep figuring it out. You have an innate quality of always wanting to dig deeper into what your feelings about life are. You know,
Can I interject
yes.
real quick? It's funny that you mentioned that because I've been studying what type of, this is very minimal, which type of smartphone I'm going to buy. And I spent months looking at each one and reading reviews and going all over the internet, trying to find which one. I'm still at the point which one I want.
Yeah.
And I'm going to narrow down to one or two. But yeah, that's one of it's kind of card kind of relates to that because I spent hours off and on looking at which phone I'm going to buy and reviews. All types of areas.
I know. I do the same thing. And in fact, my friends make fun of me for it. They're always like, oh God, Al wants to buy something he's going to be researching. And I'm like, I know. Well, so, and you don't quite, you know, you have all these great things and you have to really sort of seek the answer that's right for you. And that's what that card is about. It's about that personality trait that, and it's always there. Sometimes you lose track of it, but it's saying, it's saying, keep coming back to it. Now, what it does is it now leads you into something sort of a little bit more upfront and current, something to sort of get through. And that 5 of Swords is thinking, and it's the 5. It comes in and it sort of upsets the status quo. There's something new here. There's a new idea going on, or a new idea is coming very soon. Something that comes in and makes you a little uncomfortable. You don't quite know what to think. And that's what the 5 is.
I know what that is.
Oh, good.
Already.
So it's saying, hey, just as you've got the Lover's card here, which is all about making decisions and solving problems and figuring out what it is you really want, you've got the 5 talking about the thought process of trying to deal with new ideas that are sort of troubling and destabilize you a little bit. And you're like, wait a minute, what's going on here? But the 5 is the coming of a new possibility. As uncomfortable as it can be and confusing as it can be at times, the 5 means work it through and it will surprise you. That's what the 5 is. So pay attention to those thoughts that may be worrying you because there's possibility in them. Okay? There's possibility in the very thing that's troubling you. And that leads a little further down that road of the future we're talking about to the 4 of Wands. And the Wands are your fire and energy, your drive to create, to build, to make, to be with people, to whatever it is that compels you to be close to someone or to whatever, to make new things, new directions, your sense of adventure. It all comes via the Wands. And the 4, the 4 is strength. It's basically saying you have power. When you decide to make something, you're very secure once you make a decision. When you get through the Lover's card and you use that ability to make decisions and figure out what it is you want, and you break through the nervousness about new ideas and change. Once you do that, you end up in this power of the four in what you do, what you put your hands to make. Your creative energies have force. They drive you forward. And that's something to seek.
Kind of like me world building, since I'm the second world builder in alt space.
World building in alt space
Sort of like that.
is amazing. I mean, with Unity, you're talking about with Unity or with the
No, I'm doing kits, but I just started using Unity recently to create sound kits. Too.
there you go. So,
That's sounds to waterfalls.
well,
and
yeah.
so
And
on.
I'm telling you, in order to build things in alt space, you have to really work and figure out all the little ins and outs, especially with Unity, to get what you want built. Absolutely.
I built five escape rooms. I built about 30 worlds already.
See?
30.
So
So-
see what I'm saying? Yeah.
more.
So I'm reading the cards here, and that card actually must fit you like a good T-shirt, right? so,
Yeah.
so there you go.
So
Wow.
it's
That's
pretty
amazing.
interesting.
So Darren, very good.
Yeah,
I hope
it's
that
it's the cards that do everything.
you're
Thank
very
you.
welcome. I hope that's of some use, and you can sort of refer back to it in your head when you need to. Now let's
Definitely
see.
will.
Evie, you are. I think I. Oh, here.
The limelight.
Behind you.
Hi, Evie. Okay, it's your turn.
You can actually call me Eli. It's I'm getting my name's got to get changed back.
Okay.
But yeah. Hi. I just came in, so I don't necessarily know exactly what's going on. I know you were. Are you just reading cards for me?
Yes. What basically the way it works is you ask whatever you would like to ask, and then we'll do the.
I'm always curious because I do my own card readings, but I'm always curious to find out what others.
Exactly. I do exactly the same thing.
But yeah, like I definitely have questions about so this is my boyfriend. We're long distance. And we're kind of far apart in age a little bit. He's 22 and I'm almost 40. I'll be 40
Okay.
next year. And
22
I'm
and 75.
kind of been questioning
Wow.
just a little bit of what's our future? What does the card
Oh, yeah,
see
yeah.
in my future as far as
Okay.
are we ever gonna get further in the relationship or is it gonna always stay what it is?
Okay. All right. I totally get it. All you have to do is give me a number from 1 to 10 so I can switch those cards up.
I always go with
3. Okay, hang
It's
on.
my favorite go-to number.
1, 2, 3. Ooh. Okay. Okay. You kind of know what this is getting at.
Like I said, it's in
Yeah, isn't it? Okay, so I'm gonna mute people so I don't get microphone feedback, and then I'll unmute you as soon as I'm done. Okay. We've got a major, okay, and then we've got numbers over here, and on the left, okay, this is a thing that you can kind of not worry too much about, and you can move past. Because it's sort of a reliable, yeah, I know that's a factor in me that sometimes I tend to lose sight of. Okay, so as the screen flickers, it's mental sword energy, and it's a 7, and 7s have that kind of connection to spirituality. They kind of lean toward the intuitive side, where you're kind of like, oh yeah, I hadn't thought of that. I kind of don't know where this thought came from. We're talking about a relationship and where it's going to go, and this kind of, everybody has doubts about relationships. They don't know quite. you don't know what's going to happen next year. That's everybody goes through that. And there's a lot of thinking, a lot of thoughts happen, and they can get kind of repetitive, and you can get locked in, and you're like, oh, I have to figure this out. Is this right? Is my age appropriate for this age? What are people going to think about this or that? Can we do these activities? What if we go to a big event and somebody makes a joke? And all, these things get in our heads and swirl around. Well, the 7 is kind of there saying, hang on a second, you have kind of this already ability to go, no, this kind of thinking isn't going to bother me too long. I'm going to just let this drop because I kind of have an intuitive sense of where I'm going and what I want. I'm not going to let other voices drown this out. And the 7 also, it's not only that sort of intuitive and spiritual sort of awareness that we have, it's also indicative of the ability to take that energy, that kind of thinking, and put it into real action that benefits the people close to us. 7s have this quality of benevolent action, where you take what you've learned on this higher plane, where you've figured out about yourself, and you pour it into what you're doing, and it kind of has a nice effect on people, okay? So your ideas and your instinctive awareness of how things are going to work out play a role in your surroundings. You put these things into effect, and they help. They don't hinder. Okay, so you've got that. You know that about yourself, okay? If you read tarot, you probably really know that about yourself. Then the card is saying, okay, now let's forget that because you have that. That's already built in to you. Now, what do we need to keep in mind, like now? Even when we're driving somewhere, what do we need to keep in mind? Well, what you see staring you in the face in the middle of everything is this gigantic Ace of Cups, which is your heart. This represents love. Not only does it represent love, but it represents the infinity of possibility in that love. It's the boom symbol of the heart. So you don't get the Ace of Cups unless your heart is like big, and whatever the feeling is you're handling or talking about here, or the relationship, it's big. Okay? It's not to be taken lightly. It's not some silly little thing. And if you keep that big heart cup symbol in mind, you can't possibly go wrong. Okay? Now, keeping it in mind, just to reinforce what I'm saying, is the card on the right, which is a major arcana card, which means it's big, solid, built into this. It doesn't come and go. It sits in you and in this general subject, which is this relationship. And the sun radiates all this joyful energy out. And you see kids playing. It's almost too intense. You know what I mean? It's almost like that feeling you get when you're at the beach on a hot day and you're like running around in the waves all day long. And then by the end of the day, you realize you're sitting down to have pizza or something. And you're like, all I want to do is like sleep now, right? You're kind of worn out. Well, that's good. You've kind of baked in the sun and had all this fun and play. That's what this card is. Play, joy, being childish. So what? The card says, I don't care if I'm childish. Let these other people care. They're boring. This card is like saying, no, just go and jump around and be silly and have fun. Enjoy what it is you have, because clearly, you've talked things through, you've come to decisions, you've made beneficial decisions over here on the left with the swords. You followed your heart, kept your love in the forefront of everything all the time, and it's led or will lead to just having a ball. What else is life for? So I think the cards are pretty much totally unambiguous here. So, you know, you know, yeah. So, yeah.
It's funny that you mentioned the whole like people judging kind of stuff because me and him we just talked about that. We've been talking about that with his family and like, you know, what will his family think of like, you know, us being, you know, so far apart in age and distance and all that kind of stuff because we're so far apart and yeah, it's so funny that you actually brought that up because like that's something that I was worried about is what are his family gonna think of me, you know, because I tend to influence him,
Yeah.
making some decisions and sometimes his decisions make his family upset and it's because he's trying to grow up and they want him to be this little boy.
Oh, yeah.
And,
Yeah.
you know,
Well,
so I'm always afraid that they're gonna take it and say, "Oh well, she's a bad influence on you," and that's gonna sour the relationship, you know. But it really
Like I
doesn't.
said
I mean,
before,
he
I'm not
loves
going to
it.
let that happen.
so
loves it.
clearly these cards are saying, okay, use the 7 of Swords to deal with that, to talk to people in those situations, because you're keeping your love in the forefront of your mind. And just always remember, hey, I'm having fun. I don't really care that much if these other folks aren't having fun, because we are. So,
You get one chance at life.
so there you have that.
Thank you. I appreciate the reading.
Absolutely.
Also, if you accept my friend request, I'd love to talk to you.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I'm so bad at using the menus. I'm embarrassed. But I promise I will open the menu and I will like click on things I'm supposed to click on. Yes, absolutely. EV. So, or you said call you Eli. Okay.
Actually,
Right.
my original name was Cute Eli, but I changed it due to some drama.
Okay.
stuff
Okay,
going on,
Eli.
so, yeah.
All right. I will accept friend request.
Where you from?
Now, you're
Thank
very
you.
welcome.
Appreciate that.
LD, you must be here somewhere.
Oh, right behind you.
Behind you.
LD, I see you. How are you, LD?
Hey,
Hi.
I'm well, thank you. And
I'm
you?
very good. I'm trying to figure out my headset. It keeps falling off my head, but I'm good. Okay. So you just ask whatever you think you should ask, and then we'll do the reading right there.
Guess I'll just ask the generic what's in store relationship-wise.
Relationship-wise. Okay. I got that. Okay. So pick a number from 1 to 10.
7.
7. Hang on one second. Now, is this an existing relationship or a possible relationship?
Hands broken.
No
Okay. So you just want to know, like, what are you destined for? That kind of. Okay. 7.
Sure.
Hang on.
Curious.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. What we have here is a relatively short-term kind of a reading. Let me mute microphones so I don't get feedback again. The idea in general of the reading, it's saying this isn't particularly long-lasting. This isn't going to have a huge effect, okay? We're numbers, number cards. So it's basically saying this is kind of just something to think about in the next little while that may have an influence on moving down that road that you're talking about here. Okay, first thing is the creative symbol on the left of the 3. And it's basically saying, do, take action. The 3 is always the number of going into action and movement. Always move, always take the step that you might be hesitating to. And because it's on the left, it's saying, you know you can do it anyway. You have vast creative skill and power. You may forget that. You may not use it all the time. You may be a little embarrassed about it. But what the card there, the reason it's there is it's saying, use that ability that you have to take the unexpected angle on things, create the unexpected, surprise people, take new paths in what you're able to do, what you can make. Anything you can make. It's not just like making something out of clay. It's anything you want to create. If you're writing, if you're doing your job a certain way, or in relationships, or seeking relationships. It's new activity. And the wands are the fire suit. They are the suit of passion. And that passion is not only for what you do, like in making things, but also for other people. You know, the drive to be with someone. And that 3 means step forward. If you're not going to the place where you meet so-and-so or these, go there. That's why it's a 3. Now, that brings you up to another 3 in the headspace. And it's the card is saying, now pay attention to this, because this is the tricky part right now. And that is thinking. Again, if you get stuck in thoughts, you can get stuck in negativity. Like, oh, I'm never going to have a relationship. If I don't have a relationship now, I won't have one then, because if I was going to have one then, I'd have one now. So obviously I'm not capable of having one. I'm doing something wrong and I don't know what it is. Am I wearing the wrong shoes? Am I wearing the wrong sunglasses when I go to the beach? What is it? You can't figure it out. But what the 3 of Swords is saying is, forget the repetitive thoughts, and just like the 3 of Wands, move forward. Take a new path. Scrap the old, take the new. Think of things in a different way. Just just say, you know, however I've been thinking about things last week, no, I'm going to think about things in a totally different way and see how that works. The 3 is always very experimental. Take action, movement, development, growth, the 3. It explodes. It explodes into activity enthusiastically, always. That's the nature of the 3. So you're doing that in your passion and your creative drive, but you're also doing it with your thinking, how you decide, make decisions, where to go, who to talk to, how to talk to them. If you're at a party and you get into a conversation and you're a little hesitant and you're embarrassed, I don't want to say too much. Well, the 3 is saying, no, don't do that. Just say it. That's what the 3 is all about. Open up is what it's saying. And then it leads you into a very solid, stable, secure, safe place where you feel like, oh my God, this is the way I can do it. This is how it works for me. And it's totally reliable. It works every time. So basically that 4, the 4 is the number of solid, secure safety. And it's, again, the swords symbol, which is your mind. So your mind settles down and you become more sort of confident by doing things differently and taking a more experimental road and putting things into action that maybe you've been hesitant to do, talking more, be more expressive. And those things lead to a comfort zone where you are now in a secure place with yourself where you're like, oh, you know, why was I ever worried about doing things this way? Because now I'm in this 4, which is like a solid bulwark around me. It's proof that everything that I've done has been successful. So that is a good indicator. And these are number cards. And so what they're saying is this is a development you can make over a very short period of time. This isn't going to take months. This is going to be like very soon if you apply these things. They will very quickly have an effect. So let me unmute. There, you're unmuted. So, yeah.
Wow. Thank you. That was lovely.
Yeah. Thank you. I mean, I hope it helps. You'll know if it does.
Yes, it
You'll
does.
decide if it helps.
Yeah.
So good. Good luck with the whole
Thank you.
road.
Thanks.
Now, let me see. Miss Pie Tarts. Ms. Pie Tarts. Where's Miss Pie Tarts? There you go. Hi, how are you? Hi.
Right here. Hi.
Okay, so
Hi.
go ahead.
My husband has a condition, and I want for marriage.
Ah, okay. Pick a number from 1 to 10.
7.
Okay, hang on.
7.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, we're talking about a situation and that you have and kind of how it affects a marriage. And it's sort of one of those concerns that just keeps you preoccupied. And the cards are basically sort of saying, here's just kind of a way to sort of maybe think about things down the road a little bit that may help. Okay. You've got, now you're talking about a condition. Okay. Let me I'm going to mute microphones again. You're talking about a condition. And what you've got is on the left card, you've got the ace of coins, and that is a physical symbol. That represents the material world and the body. It doesn't only represent money and job or things you own. It represents the body you own. It represents the health in this situation that you are describing. And the ace says that this is a paramount concern. This is a big deal, and you know it. It's a factor on the left here that exists and that you know you can handle. You have handled it. It may overwhelm at times because it's got all this infinitude of possibility, and you don't know where things are going with it, and so this is their kind of acknowledging that. Okay, but it also, the aces also, they're not just big red flags. They're also just saying there's a positive aspect to it. In other words, you can handle what is required in this physical endeavor. That you have handled it, you have dealt with it, and you will continue to. And this card is there to sort of acknowledge that mastery you have, that effort that you put in, okay? And to acknowledge it and be proud of it, and always rely on your abilities there, okay? It's not just talking about the existence of a condition or, okay. It's also talking about the effort to work with it, okay? Now, as you, so and the card is on the left, so it's saying, okay, let's leave that a little bit. Let's move on forward from that, and let's think about what's needed next. And you have the King of Swords. Again, the mind, the thinking, the wondering, the constant Okay, I'm here. My headset died. So hang on just a moment. I'm coming through on the screen in just a moment. And I'm hoping that you can hear me in there from the screen. I think you can. So the idea that I was describing, and let me get the card. Hang on a second. I think you can still hear me. Okay, so we were talking about that ace, and it's. I'm going to need to hold on. I'm trying to get real cards going here. What I'm going to do is pull the cards out of a real deck that we're talking about, okay? And we have the Strength card. I'm shuffling through. I'm looking for your card. Here we go. Then what we're going to do okay, so what I did is I did a repull of the center card because the system was going down as we were working. Now, what we have, as we were talking about, is the ace of coins, and what that is suggesting, of, as we said, was this ability to work with and deal within the context of a condition. And this kind of thing, we can kind of move past it, and then we come into creative solutions, okay? And it's a 9 here, and it's a persevering card. It's the card of moving through crises in order to get to the end of a cycle and get to the next thing. And this card is saying basically use this creative energy, find new paths, new ways of handling the things that come up naturally when you're dealing with any kind of a crisis, long-term or otherwise. Now, what this is pointing you toward, leading you toward, is this Strength card, La Force. And it is basically symbolic of your strength. Not only your strength, but the strength of a relationship. And it's saying basically overcoming the unexpected, the poorly understood elements, overcoming them, overcoming what frightens us, is a skill and ability that we have. It's a strength that we have, that you have, that is built into this relationship. It's simply a part of you. And to continue to focus on that and head toward it, that calm, easygoing ability to handle whatever comes. And that is what carries you through in any sort of a relationship, a marriage, any kind of relationship that involves difficulty and crisis that you have to deal with together. This natural ability to handle whatever is coming, and you do it without really, you don't lose control. This card is all about the gentle mastery of difficulty, okay? And the continual sort of handling of it without panic. So you've got this crisis, physical things to deal with, any kind of situation, condition, physical health, any kind of health. It has an effect on our material world also, not our bodies, but it also influences what happens in the home. So this is acknowledged here. Creative perseverance, finding ways of handling the things that arise. This is what this center is wanting us to focus on. And always remember the strength we have, the ability to handle whatever this situation throws at us, carries us through it. So, I think you can still hear me, even though there's all kinds of strange alt space things happening tonight. At one point I had to leave alt space and yeah, so there's all kinds of technical issues going on in the alt space thing tonight. I'm not sure why, but it the general gist of those cards is to pay attention to the physical, to trust in your ability to handle it, to trust in your ability to come up with unique solutions, creative solutions, and to rely on your strength of character and ability to handle crises and the unexpected. Your ability to get through it without, panicking or destabilizing. That card on the right is a confident, secure, strong card, and it's able to master the wild, unexpected fears. So in a marriage, if you have that strength card, it's a very positive sign, an encouraging sign for being able to handle whatever should come. So that the reading wants you to keep in mind that card on the right and always aim for it. Your ability to handle anything. And that is also that's not an individual ability, it's the ability of the people involved. And so there you have it. So I will have to draw the event to a close. I've had to go over because there have been all kinds of technical difficulties tonight. I had to leave alt space and come back in order to get the audio working. It's so weird. So I hope that the general idea of those cards gives you some solace and helps a bit. And I will see everyone. If you want to come back in the next few days, I'll be doing another one, and I'm sure AltSpace will reboot or something, and everything will be smooth. And thank you all for coming. Have a good night, everyone. I will try to continue a little bit. I think I have some more time. I'm trying to get AltSpace to clear up on its... there's been like a weird slowdown on the screen, but I think it may be resolved. So I'm going to try to do a reading now for if I have Queen of Wands. Queen of Wands. If you are there, you can ask a question. Queen of Wands is in chat, I believe. I'm not sure if she's still there, but she can ask a question if she wishes, and I will, since I can't be physically in AltSpace, I can do with my hands the real cards on the tarot table up on the screen. What I'll do is, if Queen of Wands isn't there, what I'll do is a sort of a general reading for you who are still in the Tarot Temple to kind of think about over the next day, just as a little help, okay? All right. Let's see. Since we're not doing reversals. Okay. Just something to ponder over the next few days. And this basically is talking about change, things being left behind, things that have kind of come to a natural end, but we use what we've gotten from them. We plant them into the rich soil to enrich whatever is coming next. This is a preparation for the next change, the next cycle. Okay, that's what this card really talks about. It's the death of something, something to forget, something to put aside, to leave, and to learn from and move forward. This farmer, this tiller of the earth, is sending us forward into the Queen of Wands, this nurturing, highly capable individual who's able to create and make, always being able to bring things to fruition. Okay? And now, so this creative energy makes use of what is gained, how the world around us is enriched by how we've developed, even though something is now past, even though we've left something. Okay? Now we've moved into a new creative phase. And soon we find a kind of contentment, a balance, a serenity. So we've had upheaval, we've had change that has gotten us down and makes us worry and, sadness. But it brings us, by very nature, by the fact that we are able to sort of constantly replenish ourselves into this new balance, a way of looking at things that's more even-keeled, and secure and stable. And we want to treat people well. We want to sort of pay attention to their needs and be honest. Incredible honesty, and there's creative energy here, and there's something in this message that says, make your efforts, use what you've learned from the past, what's hurt you in the past. Use what you've learned to do new things and come to a basic understanding and be good to yourself. Treat yourself fairly. Be honest with yourself. That's this new development that's happening here with the Justice card, which is a deep, major card of the psyche. It's not just how you treat other people, how you're always fair, pay back your debts. It's not just that. It's how you regard yourself and how you operate internally also with this sense of balance. And don't be too hard on yourself, basically, here. No matter what's been upsetting in the past, you can make use of everything you've learned and come to a really good place of kind of general, solid, competent, comfortable living.